Everybody, good afternoon. It is, of course, launch day of a brand new collection here at Carnation Crafts TV. I'm Dave Bradford, back for launch day today. Loving the shows, loving your interaction with the shows as well. Most important thing is, though, that you're loving the collection. Now, I've got to let you know, this is our last live show for today. There are going to be two more tomorrow with Carla and Taz at 10 and 12. But what stock are we going to have left by then? Because at this early stage of the launch, and we're only, a few hours into it, basically, half the stock of the main Golden Age collection has gone, and 60% of the stock of the standing tall has gone, which is a separate item. Okay, now there's the details for the standing tall if you'd like to add. Maybe you've already bought the collection earlier on, but you haven't got the standing tall. This is going to work with it so well because it's all about the beautiful Art Deco images. As you can tell, Carla's back with us. And she's very well. She's getting better. Honestly, she is. But yeah, we'll see Carla in a second. But these Art Deco images are wonderful. You think of, I do anyway, when you see that one, I think of the Empire State Building, maybe bands up on stage. I think of maybe ballroom, dance floors, that sort of thing. It's got that iconic kind of angular look to it. And then down the bottom here we've got the arches. Now again, these are just iconic in the world of Art Deco, aren't they? I think of like West End theatres that have been around for many years, maybe in the city or town where you live. Incredible buildings. Art Deco to me is, I think, one of the most amazing designs of modern life. It's in so many things, from fabric print through to fashion, through to architecture, through to interiors. It's everywhere, and it never ever goes out of popularity. It's absolutely adored. So let's have a little look at this collection then, because you're going to get everything you see here in front of me at an incredible discounted price. Now, don't get me wrong, the price should be $129.93. The price, though, should be, after your discount, because you're watching it, is $99.99. And that is the price that it will go up to after the initial launch offer ends, which is only for a few days, okay? So today, you can get the entire collection, which many of you have, for $89.99. Now, you can pay in full if you want to, debit or credit card. You can also use, of course, PayPal Pay in 3, or the other one, of course, is Clearview. No, was it PayPal? ClearPay, thank you. Sorry, I've been up since about 3 o'clock this morning, so bear with me. Yeah, ClearPay, and that's on 4 interest-free instalments, okay? So here you go. You've got the story of the Art Deco. The heart of the collection is the orchid rays card shape, which, as you can see, when Carla goes through the boards, is pretty spectacular. Are you thinking stained glass? Basically, what it will make is the most incredible stepper card. Let me just show you one of these to give you an idea. Now, normally with steppers, you have to measure, you have to cut, you have to score. There's all those processes that you have to do. But the die, the good news is the die will do all the cutting, the die will do all the scoring for you. So all you've got to do basically is fold it and decorate it. But how stunning is this? You've got your fine and dandy. I'll go through them in a second, actually, all the dies you're going to get. But this will give you a better idea of what you can create with this brand new collection. We've got a little clip of video to show you that shows you some of the fantastic design team samples that they've done of Golden Age. Incredible. What does it make you think of? Does it take you back to a particular time in your life? Are you a fan of a particular Saturday night TV show that makes you think of the cha-cha and all that sort of thing? Or maybe it takes you back to a special holiday or a trip to a show in a theatre and you just marvelled at the Art Deco architecture. One of my favourite theatres in London is the Adelphi Theatre. I don't know if you've ever been there, but that's just full of Art Deco everywhere you look. It's spectacular. And now, let me show you some finished samples. Fiona Abbott's done this one. Just taking a small element from it, using a part of the tall card shapes dies in the background as a backdrop, was like a stand to put the character on. Then you've got the masculine figure, the words celebrate, even the words that are in this collection have got artwork, which is pretty incredible. We call them vignettes. So if you want to download the artwork today, and why wouldn't you, go for the collection, then go to the other part of our website, which is downloads, and then click free downloads, and then you'll see all the vignettes there for the collection, which is Golden Age. And you can print all the artwork for all of these fantastic dies today. You can print them come off 10 times, 20 times, 100 times, doesn't matter. And then your dies will be with you ASAP. If you order them today, the dies, they'll be picked and packed and posted probably this afternoon. Now, obviously, at the moment with Christmas and everything, the postal service are being stretched. We can't say it will definitely be there tomorrow, but it will be there very, very soon, I'm sure. We do our bit by picking, packing and posting, and then, of course, the delivery services take over. And I know lots of you have got in touch today on social media, on Facebook and on YouTube, saying that someone's bought it for you as your Christmas present, or you've been sat on your hands trying not to order, but the collection's got the better of you. It's elegance, sophistication, glamour and grace all in one. A few more. Look at this. Remember, you've got all of these dies included. Obviously a little bit of mirror card going on there for the glitz and the glamour and the shine. You've got the ferns and the feathers. You've actually got, I haven't counted up how many dies you've got, but you've got an awful lot for your money today. The value for money is absolutely immense. This is another one using the clean and simple elements from last week's shows that Dawn did for us. This is just using the martini glass, the little cocktail glass. So you can make them as flamboyant and as full as you want. You can make them as nice and streamlined and as simple as you want. But I'll quickly show you what you've got, and then we'll go through the boards. You've got the fine and dandy, which is basically, as you can see there, those brogues. You've got the top hat and you've got the walking cane as well, so very dapper. You've got the main card collection, which is the orchid rays. You've then got the evening awaits, which is, I just think it's genius not to have the head on the character, because that's not saying that a person looks a certain way or has got a certain colour hair or certain colour skin. You've just got the mannequin basically of the gentleman and the lady all dressed up in their fine clothes. Down on the bottom step, you've then got your feather and fern. You've got your feeling fabulous, which of course is that beautiful fan, the perfume bottle and the ladies' shoes. You've then got life of the party. Now you've got the word celebrate, fabulous friend, time for a party. And then at the end there, you've got your chosen tipple. And you can choose what tipple you'd like because of the vignettes and the artwork. You've got various different colours for various different types of cocktail. So the whole thing, main collection, last scheduled show of the day today, is 231201. And it's $89.99. Lovely, Carla.
We sound like we need to go to a consumption ward, Dave.
We do.
I do apologise. I'm so sorry.
Well, you're back. That's the main thing. And you're a lot better than you were.
I am. I'm
are.
also dressed, which is slightly unusual at the minute as well. As in, I was always dressed. Oh, right, I'm going to stop. I just had pyjamas on for a long time. Right, let's have a look at this gorgeous collection. All of the joy of that kind of elegant vibrance that we see from Art Deco, and it's just so sort of stained in our memories, isn't it, as being something that is just luxury. There is something about it, you know, these velvets. When you look at this card, that literally smacks of that to me. But there's so, as soon as I saw this card, there's so many things that spring to mind for me, because it also does remind me of a church window. So I was born and raised in Beverley, and they've got the Beverley Minster there, which is an extraordinary minster, and lots of the windows look like this. So it took me back to that place as well. So suddenly my brain went in a different, you know, in a million different pathways, and there's so much we can do with it.
Well, a lot of people on Facebook and YouTube today, in the earlier shows, were saying that it reminded them of like cruises, because certain cruise lines, certainly like Cunard and cruise lines of that sort of calibre, they go down the kind of very Art Deco sort of looks. That could be like maybe a ceiling rose in a restaurant, for example, or a window. So
it's just beautiful, isn't it? It's gorgeous. Really, really pretty. Bear in mind that these central pieces are nested dies, so you can use these for your sentiments and stamps. You can build up, or you can create apertures in the centre of that card as well. This is a clever stepper. It is so clever, because these can be at two heights. You can, where the score lines are there, you can fold that completely in, so that stepper sits right down, or you can use these little cut lines here to fold it and push those down as well, so your heights change. That means you can have one lower than the other. You can change them around completely. You can cut this into the middle and just use that central panel there, or alternatively you could use those side pieces too. It's entirely how you want to craft. If you do decide to cut the edge pieces off in order to use that central, do remember to keep your side pieces, because they can be used independently. It's absolutely stunning with the gorgeous filigree here, that geometric filigree. From there, you've also got all of your floral. I mean, it's such an enormous collection, isn't it? And the value for this is just beyond. You've got all of your corner elements. You've got that beautiful S pattern going through. You've got all of your individual orchid petals here as well. So you can build decoupage or use them independently in your beautiful tuck-ins. And I love the blue and the yellow playing together, because they're such happy friends, aren't they?
And you can use those completely independently of this collection.
Yeah, of course. Excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. You can use them independently. You can, of course we can with Carnation, you can bring so many pieces together, can't you? But they're super, super beautiful. These two lovely long lines are so well done. They're so well tailored, aren't they? Literally. So you've got the mannequin, obviously, with the fashion of the era. So you've got the gorgeous sort of tails and the bow tie there. And you've also got that sort of, we're almost getting to the flapper dress. So you're getting with the long line at the bottom of it. So well sculpted with that fair around the arms. It's just beautifully done. It's a really, really gorgeous piece. You can imagine somebody just flinging off that fair and getting dancing and drinking and doing all of the things.
That'll be you, flinging off that fur, dancing and drinking.
Oh, don't make me laugh. There's no laughing today, Dave. I can't laugh. From there, you've got your top hat, you've got your shoes, you've got that cane, and this is obviously very masculine, something we cry out for so often as crafters. And it is a dominated female world in the crafting industry, and the things that we get for crafting are very often dominated towards female and towards the feminine. So to have something that is absolutely masculine, and to have those perfect papers that absolutely back you up 100%, because they are gorgeous in their black and grey tones with those geometric shapes on the perfect papers, this could not be a happier partnership. They are just beautiful together, and I love the fact that it's masculine in that sort of style, elegance and class as well.
I mean, instantly you think of classic dance films, maybe with Fred Astaire, for example, when you see that, the top hat and the cane. Maybe you're thinking of Strictly on a Saturday Night, the routines that are wowing, the whole country. It's just got everything that you need, I think, if you want to have glamour.
Who was Easter Parade with?
Oh, now you're asking.
No, because I know. It's she won from Minnelli. No?
Liza Minnelli?
No, the mother.
Judy Garland.
There you go.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
I think you're right, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Then you've got that gorgeous fan shape here, and we have used that a lot, and I'm going to cut it in a second so you can watch how all of this detail comes out from your die cutting. Then you've got these beautiful shoes with all of those cut lines, that soft rose colour, but we're still incorporating those yellows to draw everything in the collection together. You've got your double shoes or you've got your single, so it depends how you want to play and it depends how you want to build those up. But they look really nice when you've got the masculine and the feminine shoes sat next to each other. They just come together very well. And then you've also got that perfume bottle, which is just so reminiscent for me. It reminds me of my Nana's dressing table very, very much. And she has one with a little pump on it, and it's beautiful. Very, very sweet. Then from that, you've got your drinking pieces, if you like.
Far too early.
5 o'clock somewhere, Dave.
True.
You've got all of your cocktails. You've got your orange slices. You've obviously got all of your elements with it, and you've got. I love that. That beautiful swirl of peel, isn't it gorgeous? Olives, you've got your mint, you've got your bramble, you've got your straw, you've got your cocktail stick for your olive to go on. I mean, literally, they went through the remit. They've thought of everything, and you've got all your different types of drinks here, none of which I can name. I'm afraid to tell you, but it's absolutely stunning. It's a really gorgeous board.
Espresso martini is definitely there. Taz, what did you say the others? Espresso martini.
So you've got.
There you go.
You've got, I'd say a martini. You've probably got a Cosmo in there.
That's it. That's what you said, Cosmo. Yeah.
Did you say a Manhattan or something as well?
Could be.
I can't remember. Then you've got your gorgeous feather and fern. Love these. Love these. These are going to be intrinsic to all of the cards that you make. They're going to feather out everything, excuse the pun, but they are going to give you the most delicious corners to your cards, and also borders, because we can build up. So if you've got these to have, if you've got, say, 2 of these, one sitting either side, one in the middle, so that fan that comes out at the back, it's absolutely extraordinary. It looks delightful.
And there's even artwork for these as well. Every die has artwork, we call them vignettes, that you can print off anytime you wish, totally free of charge, by going to our website and going to the download section. Now there's even artwork for the actual verses, which you don't normally expect.
Sentiments taken care of, and your matte layer as well, which I really like. It means that we get to build, doesn't it? Because we can raise those up. Now normally, obviously, if you've just got this piece, it's very difficult to place your foam tape so that you can create behind, to lift it and raise it. But because we get that matte layer, you absolutely can do that to give it that pop factor, that wow factor. And you always know when you buy, for instance, a card in a shop and it has a badge on it, it's the badge that stands out, and that's why these are so important. You've got that matte layer, it's the thing that's going to pop and shine, but you've got the Illusion 3D here as well, or 3D Illusion as it's known as, which is used very, very much in the sculpting world. And so it's the idea of shading being there to make it look like it's jumping forward as if you've got some bas relief there. It's just absolutely stunning. So that is your Golden Age collection. It's a massive collection, it's a gorgeous collection, and it's full of all the Art Deco that we love.
Now, we always know how popular a collection is going to be with the interaction that you have on Facebook and on YouTube with us as well. Suzanne Page, hello to you. Good afternoon, Carla and Dave and Miss Taz. Sitting here with my lunch and a cuppa from a cold, wet day on the south coast. It was a horrible drive. I was driving up from the south coast last night. Absolutely awful. So I hope you're safe and you hope you're dry. Karen Slade said, hello again, everyone. Hi, Karen. Good afternoon, everyone, from Linda McLeod. Jacqueline Ward says, afternoon, everyone, from very wet Bridge North in Shropshire. So glad to be in the warm watching you. Thank you. Jenny West is there. Pearl Farrier's there as well. Lovely collection. Have to wait for me till after Christmas. Well, that's fine, Pearl, but I mean, it probably will be £10 more expensive if you buy it after Christmas. If you buy it before, it's only there at that price for a few days at £89.99. But yeah, if you want to have either clear pay or you want to spread the cost, of course, with PayPal Pay in 3. That's an option for you to consider as well. Anyone can do that if you have the proper account and you just fill in the forms on our website, which is carnationcrafts.co.uk. So that is the main collection. Can I quickly, before we go on to the next part of it, show you the perfect papers? I've not mentioned these yet in this hour. Now, unusually, perfect papers normally, well, the cardstock anyway to start with, 300 GSM, not paper, they normally come in either block colours or very, very faint patterns, but this time they're bolder. So you've got the monochrome and again, iconic Art Deco styles and patterns there. You've got a lovely biscuit colour in here, like a honey colour, a taupey colour as well. I think you've got blue and black in there as well. So you've got 6 colour variants and it's a mixture of block colours and pattern papers, but it's been designed to complement the artwork of the vignettes, okay? So it's 231210, the Golden Age perfect papers. Maybe you bought the collection earlier and didn't realise the perfect papers were available. $14.99 is your price. Order them today, and of course they'll come along with your main order for the dies. Now, if you do go for the main collection, it's free P&P. If you're watching us in the USA, it's $5.95 shipping and handling for you. $4.95 shipping and handling. Thank you, Taz. And also, if you're watching us in the USA and you want maybe perfect papers or the ProPrint paper, that will be a maximum of $14.95 for you shipping and handling in the USA. But of course, if you're buying it in the UK, provided you're spending over £50, your P&P is free. Now, the other element that we talked about, which is, I just think, is the perfect complement to go with this main collection, is the standing tall card shapes, iconic Art Deco images, which again make this collection go even further. And Carla's got the board to show you there.
I have. It's absolutely beautiful, this whole piece. So you've obviously got your large frame here, that geometrical shape that's going to create really stunning centerpieces, isn't it? It's absolutely going to shout from the rooftops, and it's a really beautiful piece. It's got kind of the iconography of an award or something like that. Yeah. It's all of the, you know, if you're in a 1920s sort of cinema or theatre where they have the corner pieces in the ceiling, it's got all of those elements to it, hasn't it? It's really beautiful. Along with the matte layers that you're getting for it as well, so you can add to that if you so choose to, and it looks divine when you do. You've got your stand for the back of your card. This also has its own colour tone as well, so there is a colourway from Carnation for this, or you can just cut it in white, depending which, you know, where you're going. If you cut the actual artwork out for this piece, for the main card shape, you'll get those hinges in there as well. They look like hinges. The artwork is designed that way, so you can create from that. Actually, as well, that makes it very applicable to become a gateway for a different card if you've got some of the Carnation animals. So you can start to see how you can diversify with that as well. So something along the lines of rural charm. It just is absolutely beautiful. You can add 2 of these together. You can add 4 of them together. Keep it going and going. All your nested elements as well, super important for apertures, for layers, and it means we can change how the card looks depending on what we're crafting. That means just that one card shape, this just particular piece here, I can probably, without even thinking about it, probably get about 10 different card shapes just from that one piece. That makes it one of your most valuable card shapes that you'll ever own, because there are so many diverse ways that you can use it. So this one is definitely, if you're buying that main bundle and you can stretch to it, definitely add this in. It's going to make all the difference to your card making.
Well, it's only $27.99 and its item number is 231209. That's a lot of metal for your money. And again, it just gives that Art Deco theme even more versatility. Now I've got some other cards. Bearing in mind we've done 2 shows already today, we always like to show as many finished samples from the design team as possible, because ultimately it's their ideas that are going to give you ideas at home as well. But these haven't been on air yet today, until today. So Fiona Abbott, I've got to thank you for yours. Let me just show you this, lift it up a little bit. So you don't have to use the card blank as a stepper if you don't want to. You can use it as a fairly traditional, I think this is maybe an 8x6 or something like that card. What do you reckon, 8 by 6 inches, would you reckon?
That's 8 by 6.
8 by
Do you want me
6.
to measure it? I can do so on my glass cutting mat if you so wish.
Go on then.
Let's have a look. I'm going to go 8 by 6. I was totally wrong. It's just under. It's 8 3/4 by 7.
Okay, near enough.
We were
both
close,
wrong.
Dave.
Yeah, there we go. Close but no cigar. But again, look at what Fiona's done here. I mean, that could be a wedding card. It could be a brother and sister card. Whatever you wanted it to be, or just a party invitation. But that tells the person that gets the invitation, you know, dress up, make an effort. Don't turn up in your tracksuit. We got this next one, which is from Janine Dawson. Again, nothing to do with the stepper card at all, but using the elements from the cocktail glass and a few of the flowers. Doesn't that just absolutely... That's gorgeous. So simple, but so effective. Time for a party. Another one using the cocktail glasses as well. I think these have actually been cut out of acetate, so it actually makes it look like a glass martini glass. Really cool. And then onto some other different card blanks that we have here, but just using the perfume bottle. Pam Simpson has done this with the iconic mannequin in the centre. It looks as she's actually got those as feathers at the back of her outfit.
That card shape's perfect as well with this collection, isn't it?
And then Fiona Abbott's done this one. So again, using the feathers and the ferns and that beautiful fan. So all those elements can be just put together without the need for any characters at all. And then another stepper quickly that we haven't shown you yet until today is that one. Is that the one you did earlier? Similar?
I think so, yes. No, I think it's the one I did.
Yeah, brilliant. So 231201, that's the item number. Now remember, importantly, this is the last live show today on launch day, Monday of this. You can't get this anywhere else at the moment. For the time being, it's exclusive to us. Everybody pays the final low price, which is $89.99. So that is a discounted price purely for the launch. A few days' time, that price will go back up to $99.99. But at the moment, everyone gets the same deal of £89.99. And with Clear Pay, of course, and also PayPal Pay in 3 available there for you. Choose how you want to pay, either in full or instalments. It's entirely up to you. Okay, high time we crack on with the demo.
Yeah, so you're going to go onto the Carnation Crafts website, and you can go and do this now before your collection arrives, and go to www.carnationcrafts.co.uk, go to downloads and to free downloads. One of the options when you get there will be a little box on the side that says collections. You can type in the collection or scroll through. That will give you golden age. If you scroll through, it should be right at the top. And when you click on that, loads of PDFs will turn up, and those PDFs, that's your artwork. Now, we call them vignettes. Don't let that confuse you. It is just artwork. You're going to add it to your basket, check out for free, and you're going to print them on a PDF. It'll come up as a PDF, and you're going to print them. My advice, do it on ProPrint. It will make all of the difference. So that's where you get your artwork from. And I'm just going to cut one of those artworks for you now. So I'm folding it with that black line down the center, and we need to spray adhere it. Now, you can do it without. It will compress together. However, if you want to sculpt it in any way, shape or form, you could do really with the adhesion on it. Otherwise, the two pieces will separate. It does allow you to cut 2 at a time, which is super useful. I'm
pretty sure that Carnation were the first people to actually invent and come up with the idea of double-sided vignettes. So in other words, not have you got a front and a back to the artwork, you've also now got a left and a right to anything. So those characters could be looking left if you're thinking, oh, that's the wrong direction. Just do a double vignette, have a front and a back, turn it around, you've then got one that looks the other way.
I'm pretty sure they're still the only company that do it, I think.
I've not seen any other company that does it. And it was almost like a lucky accident, the way it came about, wasn't it?
No, I think it was very specifically designed by Nick to be that way. I think he very much worked to make it happen.
Right.
And I think there was an awful lot of Nick's engineering brain power behind it to get it perfect. And he's obviously got the knack now, but it's not as easy as it looks. I can tell you that much for free, because getting anything equidistance to reflect is just not easy. So kudos to Mr. Nicholas
and the
for
team
once again making it perfect. Once you've cut this, you're going to get the image inside your metal die, unless you've used Cut Tidy, in which case it will come away. Now I'm going to just use my pokey tool. There's little release points at the back of your die. If you use your pokey and just push, it will give you all the help you need, and we're then going to reveal the absolute perfection that is Carnation. Look at all the line detail on there. Now, as soon as I take that in my hand, what I can do straight away, can you see how my lines have cut?
Yeah.
And I can start to just work those lines into a concertina shape without any effort on my part. Can you see?
You would not
And
expect a
suddenly I'm
die
sculpting.
to cut all those individual lines so you could get that kind of scalloped appearance. It's just such clever thinking. And also, while we're on the business of the artwork, when it comes to artwork, if you've got artwork that you've bought before or had given or you've purchased or whatever, do you know where it's come from? Do you know who the artist is? Do you know where it was actually produced? Do you know anything about it at all? Well, you know it's come from Nick and his team at Carnation headquarters. They do all the artwork, and provided you make something with it, they give you permission to sell whatever you've made. So you know where the artwork's from, you know the person behind it, and you know the kudos, and you can tell your customers that if you're actually going to sell your cards. You know, it's nice to know what goes on behind the scenes, and that's what Carnation's all about.
Well, it's the calibre, isn't it? It's it's knowing that you've got something that is the quality that we want it to be. But also, I think, especially this day and age, because we do have so many copyright laws, and it is such a serious thing in the business these days, that it's nice for you guys to know you have permission from Carnation to sell these, knowing that this artwork came straight from Nick and the team's pen. And that makes a difference, because you can buy with confidence, and what's more, you can sell with confidence.
And also, the artwork is some of the most stunning you'll find.
That's true. Right, I'm just going to do a quick 8x8, and the reason that we're doing this is because the last two shows I've used the main card shapes. We will go back to using the main card shapes, but I did just want to show you, for those of you who want to diversify as well, I want to show you these. Look at that.
Love that colour.
That depth and richness of colour is extraordinary. And I love doing 8x8s and playing with Carnation's perfect papers, because you really start to see those rich tonal qualities coming through.
Would you call that colour like a salmon? Or
I'd call it almost like a warm peach almost. Yeah. It's got that, it's like almost like a warm skin tone. Look at this.
One of the pattern. Yep, one of the pattern.
I love that. Do you know, if you were canny with this, you could also get away with that being like a 60s pattern as well.
That's one of those patterns that when you look at it, you see one thing 1 minute and another thing the next.
It's a 3D optical illusion, isn't it?
Yeah, so you see like a Y and then you see like a square, like a 3D square. Very clever.
It's yeah. I'm obsessed at the minute with hidden images and stereo graphs, and I keep going into it, or stereograms, should I say. So everything I look at the minute, I'm like, is that real or is that a stereogram? And I could never see them when I was a kid. Can you remember them? The Magic Eye posters?
Yeah.
With the 3D. I could never see them as a kid, but now my eyesight's starting to fail a little bit as I'm getting older. I can see them really fast, which is really exciting. It's the one joy of getting old. Right, let's have a look at these florals pieced in and how beautiful they are as corner elements, because they really are extraordinary. Now, I'm not going to use them both at the bottom. I do want to raise them up, so I'm going to go diagonally. I'm going to oppose them so that I can work in my corner element for them. So I'll just turn this and I'll swing it this way, so that I'm literally creating that diagonal that I love so much, because it's a really beautiful piece that we can use. I do want to shape it just a little bit. I want to give it some umph. Now I'm going to work from behind on the shaping on this one. In the previous demo, I did work from the top and worked upwards. I want to do it downwards.
Now, as far as the artwork's concerned for these flowers, you'll find on the website, when you go and look at the vignettes, that there's actually 3 different colour variants. There's a blue, a white and a yellow, a gold. Yeah. So they're there, and you can print off which option or all the options if you want to, and they are all going to marry up with the dies that come in the orchid raised card shape, your main card shape die in the main collection. Okay. Now
we're just manipulating that paper. Once we've actually done the sculpting, the going round and round essentially in that spiral to start from the outside and go to the middle, it's curling too much. Obviously it's not appropriate to try and stick that down as it is, because it would look a bit daft. So we need to actually then manipulate that into a form, and the form that we choose is something that's more flat. So hold one of those pieces and just pull, so that you're pulling those flowers to a form, and that will allow the shaping to remain in each flower, but it will allow this to sit in a more formed and flat shape. So I'm going to take my gel glue, just build in a little bit of height. I'm not worried about too much height on these corners because they're not my showstopper, but I do want to, I want the rays and I want that shadow play. Look, can you look at that?
Yeah.
Sumptuous, isn't it?
I mean, if that was flat, it would still look lovely, but having the shadow makes all the difference.
I love shadows.
Yeah.
I'll never, ever, ever not be an advocate for shadow play. It's so important in the card. It's just very, very beautiful. We've got this incredible artwork, and isn't it nice to really show it off?
And by the way, the ball tools will be on the website. We've got the back in stock tiny lights that we didn't have for quite a while.
I'm so chuffed about that.
Yeah, they're on the website as well. We've got the everyday glue, the glue applicators, all of it's on the website if you're there.
So I've got this really, really stunning warmth coming through now. That warmth is driven by the fact that I've got the warm tones with the peach at the back and then those yellows that are driving that colour forward. Now I'm going to want to make more of this corner, not of this one so much. What I don't want to do is overface the card, so I am going to work corner to corner, but I'll leave this one as white space. I'll leave quite a lot of white space, and I'll bring in some elements in order to create and build. And then I will use a sentiment just to finish off and allow, you know, that smart finish that I'm looking for. So again, with the ball tool, a little bit of shaping out on her. I'm not going to go too far in, but I will pull down every single piece of fabric that she has in that dress.
Are there cut lines in the dress as well?
Yeah,
right.
all the way down, and they're lengthways. I'm following Nick's guide. Nick is, in this essence, Nick, you think of him as being, without, I want a better word really, but as a guru. If he's put the lines there, they're there for a reason.
Yep.
Let's trust his motivation to do that and work with it with the ball tool, so that we can sculpt in a way that's appropriate for the piece that we've got. So draw it that round, excuse me, sorry guys. And then I'm just going to work around these lines. Draw that round.
And the difference the ball tool makes is immense. It really, really is. So think about it. If you need the ball tool and you need the ball tool mat, which of course we're using, Carla's using at the moment, that's all on the website for you as well. But to get this collection and to get Nick and the team's brilliant artwork, not just in the colours and the paint and the colouring of all the characters and so on, but also where the cut lines are. You don't really think about that, or I didn't really think about that until I found out why they were there, and the sheer genius behind it is amazing.
He's just clever, isn't he? Right, let's take this. I'm just going to, first of all, pull these shapes independently. And that automatically gives me a little curvature here. You can just see it starting to go around. But I want to emphasize that a little more. So I'm just going to use the ball tool, excuse me, just across and around those edges at the bottom. That's going to allow me to shape just even more. Isn't it beautiful, that piece? It's so striking.
It was only today when I saw that I thought, okay, yes, architecture, buildings, that sort of thing. But also, I could just picture a group up on a stage, a band, you know, getting ready to get people to sing along and dance with them, that sort of thing. That's what it reminded me of. And it could easily be like a music stand for a trombonist behind it or something like that.
I'm pretty sure there's one at the Oscars. I'm almost,
yeah,
my
like
brain keeps going there.
I think you're right, actually, yeah.
Right, now I want to bring the lady into this, and I want to bring the feather into it, and I'm still going to be working in this corner. So I'm going to shift everything down to this corner because I want my sentiment to be over here, and that's going to be the bit that the eye gets drawn to straight away. This is going to be that wonderful decoration. So taking a little bit of wet glue. I don't want to go too far with the wet glue here, and I don't want to impose the glue on the fronds of this feather. I want it to flow free. So I'm only going to put wet glue on the bottom of it, and that's just to allow that movement and that shadow play that comes through. So picking this here, so I'm using that stem of the feather and just tiny amounts. Don't oversaturate, she says. And there you go, that's enough. Into that edge right to my corner point. So it's just going to seat.
So you're pushing the stem into the glue gel,
I'm stealing the pin flare essentially from that. So now I'm pulling out, okay? Now my lady's got to sit, and I've got options here. She can sit at the side of this and be a showstopper. If that's the case, I'm going to need to put my sentiment, which sits here at this side. Can you see visually how we play with those shapes? If I want her to add in over here, for instance, and commit so she ends up in this corner, behind that, just let me move my pin flare. I couldn't really have the sentiment there.
No.
There's something wrong with the weight of my card. So because of that, my sentiment is actually going to sit here. Now I want my clean line up here. I'm going to leave her where she is. I'll add in a little bit of pin flare here. But I don't want to, sorry Dave.
I was just saying, nice sentiments that perhaps you haven't got in your collection so far. Time to Party is one that probably you haven't actually got in your collection as to date. You may have got a Celebrate, but it's probably a different font. And also there's a Fabulous Friend in there as well. So all really useful sentiments to have.
Well, they're a bit of something different, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we need. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to place, but now I have a problem with the weight of my card at the bottom right hand side down here. So the weight now isn't dispersed in a way that I want. I do have my diagonal, but this is too fat, and in order to make that more proportionate I need to drag it this way more. And the way I can do that very simply with this whole collection is the perfume bottle, because it's perfectly shaped in order to make a form. So because I've got the excess that comes down and I can lay that, it's going to take up a really good portion of this, and that's going to bring my diagonal. So if you think of as such working in the rule of thirds, that's going to bring my diagonal down visually to that, so you still get that wow factor from that sentiment, which is what I'm looking for. So if I now take this and just follow those lines around, take that up just a little bit there, and then make the poofy thing a bit rounder. I'm sure it's got
Technical term.
I'm sure it's got like a proper name.
Puffer?
A puffer?
Maybe.
Don't know. It's one of them things, Dave.
It's one of those things. Absolutely.
Foofer?
Could be.
I know not the things. Right. Let's take this right on the edge. Draw it through so I'm breaking that edge. I'm visually taking it away so that it matches at that side should I say, and placing down so that spans out. And now I've got a flow line all the way through the card, and your eye is taken to Time to Party. Basic composition, construction.
But that's what I think we all need to learn, and when it's shown it makes sense. But until you actually kind of do it yourself, you might look at a card and think something's not right, but I don't know what. But hopefully that demonstration that Carla's shown you shows you how the composition works together.
I will say, normally if you're looking at a card and you can't work out what's wrong with it, it's your colour. And that's why Carnation is so handy, because you get those perfect papers, because it's normally a twinge on colour somewhere. So when you use your perfect papers, you don't get that twang. It's going to work. So it does work that. Don't worry about composition. Composition's pretty easy once you get going. If your colour tone's right, you're not trying to fight in your head with what else doesn't look right, because you can see it automatically, and that's why perfect papers are going to help you all the way through your journey.
Let me show you some total extremes as far as like composition's concerned and size is concerned with this collection. Sue Dalrymple on the design team has done this. I think I showed this to you earlier on. It deserves another look because it's absolutely amazing. And can you see those wonderful ferns? You only get one die, obviously. The feather and a fern, you get one feather and one fern, but of course she's cut it out multiple times using the vignettes, and it creates this amazing kind of flourish of ferns at the top and all the way around it as well. That's a spectacular card. And then completely the opposite, as far as kind of size is concerned, is something really quite dainty, but so sweet. So whether you want to make tiny little cards, whether you want to put little play settings on dining tables and that sort of thing, something like this is superb. Fiona Abbott's done this using the mannequin of the guy, the word Celebrate across it, and then the brogues down the bottom there as well, the top hat. Really lovely, really sweet. And of course we've got the card backer on there as well. So that's the card stand that you get in the standing tall card shapes, which I'll remind you of in just a second. But if you want to go for the main collection today, it's called the Golden Age. We're talking about Art Deco. Now, I'm sure it hasn't been long since you've been into a shop, whether it's a department store. Someone said it reminded them of Selfridges in London. Maybe so. It could have been a theatre. It could have been a big office block in a big city somewhere, maybe even in New York. Or it could have been on a cruise line or in a ballroom, wherever it may be, where you see ceiling roses, windows, wonderful carvings on walls in an Art Deco style. That's what this whole thing's about. But it's not just about the architecture. It's also about the people that have got that knack of dressing just so right. You know, when they dressed up to go to dinner, when they dressed up to go out, when they're dressed up to get up basically in the morning, you've got the top hat, you've got the walking stick, you've got the fancy shoes, you've got the mannequin of the guy, the mannequin of the lady. Down the bottom there you've got the martini or whatever it may be, cocktail glass, the word Celebrate, Fabulous Friend, Time to Party, the fan and the perfume bottle, and the fabulous feather and fern as well. The whole collection for quantity and quality is off the charts amazing at $89.99. And if you want any idea and want any clarification as to how popular Art Deco is, next time you're out at the local supermarket, well, not supermarket, say the local shopping centre or wherever you go, if there's a card shop there, just go in and see how many Art Deco style of cards are in there. You'll probably see them all over because it's one of the best sellers. So if you're buying this collection to make cards, rest assured Art Deco is a best selling collection and best-selling theme. So you're onto a winner from that point of view as well, whether you're making cards to sell for profit or whether you're making cards to sell for charity. But what we would recommend you, Carla would back me up and so would Taz as well, the golden age of perfect papers. If you're going to print off all the artwork, which I'm sure you've either done already or you're doing this afternoon from the website, these papers, they've never been done like this before. They've been done in block colours and they've been done with a pattern, but not in the bolder colour tones that you've got here, the monochrome, which really, really makes that Art Deco patterning stand out. 48 sheets, 300 GSM, and you get 6 colour variants in total. Add that to your order for only $14.99. And remember, if you're in the USA, your shipping and handling on the main collection is $4.95. If you're ordering the perfect papers or pro print paper, whatever it may be, on top of that, you've got a maximum capped shipping and handling of $15.95. Okay, $14.95. I always got the other wrong way. $15.95 and $14.95. Yeah, so $14.95 is the cap shipping and handling if you're in the United States. Okay, if you want to go for the tall card shapes, that's a separate item, but it complements the main collection, as I said to you before, brilliantly. You've got that very angular, very, very angular, beautiful card shape, which is that one just there. And then you've got the more slightly subtle curved, almost like a screen, like a privacy screen, which you can snip together. I'm just trying to find one that I can show you quickly. You can use one on each side if you wish to, or you can join them together and do something like this that Carla showed you in the previous show, actually, in the 11 o'clock hour. So you can watch the 11 o'clock or the 9 o'clock back if you wish to. They're there on YouTube ad infinitum. This one, though, shows you if you join them both together, there you go, you can make that lovely kind of rise and fall effect. And there's even on the artwork, there's even the hinges that have been put in there too. So the attention to detail from Carnation, again, is absolutely second to none. Hope you're enjoying it. I hope you like the collection, because this is our last live hour of the day today. One more demo, I think, to come, possibly maybe 2, don't know.
Right, let's have a look at, for those of you who've just joined us who didn't see the earlier shows, let's look at that main card shape, because it's exquisite. It really is an exquisite card shape. Plenty of demos done today with it so that you can go back and you can get your inspiration. Now, when you cut it out, you're going to cut out the main card shape twice. You can't mistake which die it is. It's the biggest one in the pack, and it looks exactly like this. On this one, I've got tabs, and on this one, I've cut those tabs off, and that's so that I can connect the cards very, very easily. So by turning this one round, so those tabs are facing towards my body, that's the front of the die cut, I can see that I've got my tabs here. That's going to allow me to stick my 2 arm pieces together just there, and I can then come to the middle one later on. Once I've got it all in place, it means I'm not going to get a disconnect in the way these 2 are pieced together. So I hope that helps anyone at home who's first starting out with stepper cards. It just makes life a little easier when we're first starting to get everything lined up, she says. Watch me do this hideously wrong. Because
I've got faith.
Thanks, Dave. Someone needs to have faith. There we go. If I just do one and then to that. So we've got this one sitting here, and then I'm going to drop this one into place thither. Just make sure they kiss there, and that is that. Now, I can bend those and I can get these 2 to meet in the middle. So the first thing that I'm going to do is remove my red liner tape from here, bend those down. That's not touching the other yet because the sticky is on the outside. And that means that once I've got that, I can pin these between 2 fingers, pull this down towards my body, get rid of that bit of red liner.
I mean, normally a stepper card is one of the hardest cards to do. Lots of measuring, lots of scoring, lots of, hoping you've got it right. The die does all the work.
We don't like that, Dave. We don't like hard work.
We don't.
Now, I've put all that together so you can see how it goes together. I think I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. I don't know. I think somebody's stolen it. It's fine. Sorry, Taz. So
who's stolen Carla's sneeze?
It came and
please?
then it went. Somebody stole my sneeze, and so I'm just going to trim along this piece and get rid of one of those arms. Neaten that up. Make sure that edge is straight. just there. So I'm just going to use 1.5 of those steppers. However, this mini that I've got here, I'm going to keep, and I'll be able to use that myself at a different time for a different card shape. Because if I piece that down and use my score lines just like so, as we do with your stepper cards, I can create a little mini, and it's super, super sweet.
Oh, that's cute.
And I can create something gorgeous from that. So don't get rid of your wastage, because it's just as valid as anything else. Obviously, as it happens, I'm going to be working with just one stepper, because sometimes it's nice to change it up. So I'm going to turn that back and fold it in on itself. Same thing again, turn that back and fold it in on itself. So I've now got what almost appears to be a Manhattan skyline, or part of it. So we're creating, again, that geometric formation of skylines that is so very, very prominent within Art Deco.
Could even be a London skyline.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're just sticking with that original remit of what that sort of smacks of. And I'm going in with these beautiful warm toned peach perfect papers. And just pulling this out, pulling this away. 1mm on this, on my foam tapes, that I can raise ever so slightly, but not predominant. Place that in. There are little corner elements that you can piece here as well. I've got to tell you, I love the white space on this. And I did sort of tend for me to sort of play with that, because it just, to me, the white space with the white filigree is so beautiful. So I'm going to place this on top, just like so.
And again, the quality of the perfect papers, absolutely second to none. Gorgeous coated cardstock, 300 GSM, 48 A4 sheets. Incredible for that price.
They make life so much easier when you've got those perfect papers. It really does take a lot of the stress of colour theory away.
Well, let me just ask you the question. Have you got cardstock in your collection right now in that colourway? I bet you haven't, because that's such an unusual colour.
Well, it's colour picked from the vignettes, that's the thing, because if I was to take, say, for instance,
you know, the shoes,
to it, but we're starting to colour pick in some of those peach tones that come through in those shoes. So you're not going to have that specific tonal quality, because it's where Nick draws it from, the actual artwork itself that he himself and the team of artists at Carnation have drawn. So I want to bring in some of that warm peach tone, but I also want to cool it. So just to cool those tones down so that everything that sits on top shouts. And part of that is this, that very clean white against those warm tones is beautiful. So little tiny amounts, she says, and puts on great big globs. Sorry, my glue is drying out in the studio. Just across. I don't want that much. Why don't we want that much, Dave?
Because glue's sticky.
So I'm just going to place this in.
You waste it, and it also can make a project look messy if you put too much on. So,
but paper and moisture they're not friends.
No.
Paper and moisture are not friends. They don't want to mix.
The least you can use, the better.
Moisture is going to always win against paper. So we always try and just remove that threat as much as possible. She says, putting a great big dollop down. Right, look up. Can you just see on there? I don't know if you can or not. The edges, the beveled edges that you get with a Carnation die when you cut it, they're so different from other companies. It's a real strong bevel. Now, bear in mind, I haven't used Cut Tidy with these pieces, these filigree pieces, because I was cutting them downstairs, and they've still come out with that bevel. If you were to situate your Cut Tidy on there as well, man alive, are you going to have some rich lines coming through?
It's only a small point, but it's a point that really becomes obvious when you work with them. It's just that extra finishing touch of luxury.
With Carnation dies?
Yeah.
I don't think you know until you know. And I think once you start crafting with it, you suddenly really struggle to come away.
Well, that's what people tell us all the time. Once they've tried Carnation, there's no going back.
I actually, funnily enough, do you know, had to make something the other day, and I had to use a die. And it wasn't a Carnation die, and I think it's probably one of the second times that I've used dies that aren't Carnation. Man alive, is there a difference?
Right.
You can tell.
And if you don't think there is, buy a collection, try it. You will be amazed.
You really, really can tell the difference. It was almost painful. Right, now I've got some elements here that I just want to bring in, and I'm not going to bring all of them in, but I will bring some. But I want to talk to you about the difference between the corner line and the S line, because the two are very, very beautiful, but they're very different and for very different reasons. Now, if I'm going to leave these white, I can beautifully just place those there. Look how that frames, and can you see how beautiful that is with that point that comes forward that takes us to the one piece that we've got, because we removed the other side of the stepper. So you're really framing, you're giving that beautiful strong L design at the bottom. If you don't want to do that, we can talk about using that S line that just sits and draws the eye straight to the centre. And the reason that's so powerful is because the way Nick's designed the geometric shape on the filigree is that your eye is automatically inclined towards that centre point. So either way, you're getting spoilt with that image, you know, it's going to give you an awful lot of shaping. Now I'm going to use both of these examples. So I am going to use this in the corner and I'm going to use the S line elsewhere. I just wanted to show you the difference. Now I think we are slightly short on time, so I don't want to spend too much time shaping each thing out, but I will just use my finger to manipulate the paper and just allow it to lift a little bit. If you don't have a ball tool at home, or you don't have a dense foam mat, please don't just use any old piece of foam, because it will crease your paper. Get a dense paper sculpting mat like the Carnation one on the Carnation website, because it will help.
Well, if you buy the ball tools, that comes with the foam mat, doesn't it?
Listen, I haven't actually spoken to them, so I don't know, but I'm going to go with a gut guess.
I'm pretty sure
it's coming. No, I was going to talk about January actually. It's coming up to January, and we all know what happens in January, right? The January sales happen. Do we think Carnation will partake?
I don't know.
Here is the question, right?
Big question.
Is the
I mean,
question.
to be fair, like every offer we bring with a new collection is like it's in the sale anyway, isn't it?
Of course. Well, especially, yeah. Just imagine if you got loads of vouchers for Carnation for Christmas. I would be sitting pretty with that.
Well, vouchers, funny you should mention that. You can get them on Carnation's website right now, carnationcrafts.co.uk. £10, £25 or £50 value. Not only can you get the physical gift card, which can get posted, but you can also opt for an email version. So if someone's got a birthday tomorrow or the next day, you can actually put their email address in, pay for the card, and it will be emailed them on the day of their birthday. So if you've got something that you've forgotten, someone in the family who's got a birthday tomorrow, thinking, what can I do? Well, I can't get out to the shops. Go to the website, order a gift card, and it can be emailed to them literally by the next day or the same day. And also you can put a personalised little greeting on there too, which is really nice.
Right, I'm just placing that through. Well, the joy of getting gift vouchers, of course, is the choice of what you get becomes
you choose what collection
absolutely
you want.
yours, doesn't it? And that's such a nice place to be. Now, I can put this on top of those florals. I can tuck it behind. To me, as a visual, it would make more sense for it to just be tucked behind and for it to be peeking through, because it would ground it out, so you get that sense of action coming through. Now, I want this to be my showstopper, so I want it really to sit higher than that, because to me it makes more sense that it's sitting higher, because if it does, then it can sit, you know, with that flow line coming down. So the way I can get around that, I can shift all of this in and I can shift it round. I can bring in one of those fans. Remember, we cut this earlier, so I can bring this in order to just poke through, and it'll go behind those florals in a lovely way. And then once that's done, I can use that to just raise and ground out that trophy piece. Now I'm just going to just play with that. I don't really want it to be completely straight. I want it to have a bit of a different shaping on it, more like a ruffled shaping on it, if that makes sense. So I'm not going to spend too much time trying to just concertina the whole thing, because I like the fact that it's sort of rippled. There's something quite nice and free about that. So placing in a small amount of pin flare, taking my yellow floral here and raising up, placing just slightly under, allowing that to drop back down. Now I've heightened my corner edge, and now we're really singing, okay? And we're drawing everything over, so you've got that real beauty. If you don't feel comfortable with the fan, you can keep layering up these here, and you could layer behind, you can, you know, keep layering them on top to build your height and depth. Choose which way suits you best and which way you feel the most comfortable with. But either way, you're going to create something stunning, so don't worry too much.
I mean, that's almost like a radiating star, that background, isn't it? The kind of lines that shoot off in so many different directions. You can make it into something like a stained glass window if you put acetate behind it and coloured it with your alcohol pens. That would look incredible. Use some tiny lights behind that.
Yeah, you absolutely can use tiny lights behind that. Now I've got a disconnect that sits here, and it's that point here. Can you see? There's something wrong with that image, and it's because that's now floating. I very much made it float, right? Because I can see it come out from behind the fan, you can see the disconnect. I'm going to fix that with the shoes, and the shoes are going to tuck, and you'll just see a little expose sort of heel coming through, or toe if you like, of that shoe and the heel. So I'm aiming to have that bit exposed. That is going to ground me out. That floor piece is going to ground me out. It's a shoe. We know visually a shoe will sit on the ground. I can steal some glue. I'll just make sure that there is enough there just in case. I don't want too much in that way, but you see how now I'm building that visual and that picture. So the shoe will help ground things just coming through.
We've talked a lot, haven't we, about it being kind of show busy, very architecturally inspired, Art Deco. But now that card, that could be a christening card. That could be a sympathy card. It could have religious connections if you wanted it to. So, you know, you can make these images and these Art Deco images take on whatever element and whatever theme you want.
I've yet to see Carnation bring out a collection that can only be used in one way.
Yeah.
I don't think they've ever done that.
No.
There's nothing is that specific with Carnation. Right, finally we're going to finish this off with that lady. So we are just going to give in a taller rise behind in front of those florals so that visually they're not just left sort of as they are. Otherwise they may look a little strange because they may appear like they're coming from nowhere. So I can put this lady on. She's on a 5mm. She's going to sit very forward. She could sit in front of those florals, by the way, if you want her to, but I quite like her to be sitting on here. Now I can have her sitting like we did on the other, where she sits in front, but I quite like just her peeking through at that back point with those florals forming a fan behind her, and that gives us a really beautiful clean skyline on top of that card, and it gives us a beautiful framing out at the front as well. So always we're looking for that visual point, and it's a beautiful, beautiful collection.
Well, this is your last live show for today, and today of course is the launch day of this new collection, Golden Age. There will be 2 more shows tomorrow though, at 10 o'clock in the morning and 12 o'clock in the morning. So if you've just got in or whatever and you've missed some of the demonstrations in the earlier shows, you can watch them back on YouTube, of course, if you want to as well, at any time of your choice. They'll be there ad infinitum on YouTube for now until eternity. But if you want to go for the main collection, it's 231201. Don't forget, if you want to go for the standing tall card shaped dies with these ultimate incredible Art Deco images of the angular and the curved there, that's only £27.99 if you want that. They can add that into your order as well. And the perfect papers are there too as well, which are the perfect addition to the vignettes. Now, if you haven't got your vignettes printed off yet and you've ordered the collection, go to carnationcrafts.co.uk, put it in your basket, check out, and then make it straight away to the download section, and then click on free downloads, and you'll see all the vignettes, all the artwork for these dies will appear. If it doesn't, just put Golden Age in the search box, and then the artwork will be there for you to enjoy. Thank you for all of your messages on YouTube and Facebook today. Lovely to hear from you. I'll be back on the 19th of December with the last collection, guaranteed pre-Christmas delivery, but you're back tomorrow, Carla, aren't you?
Back tomorrow here. We are on Hobby Maker on Wednesday with this collection as well. And then on Friday we'll be here with a very special little nugget. It'll be me and Taz on Friday with a special little nugget for you as well.
Thank you, Taz.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you.
We're going to go and rest our voices. Thank you for watching. See